So Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Let's talk more about this duo. How about this? Games with 30-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and at least 5 3-pointers this season. It's happened 6 times in the NBA. Ooh. Okay, 6 times total this entire season. Jaylen Brown's now done it twice, back-to-back games. Jason Tatum has done it twice. And then there you see LeBron's done it, Kyle Kuzma. And Perk, what we're calling this is the 30-piece wing dinner with sides. How do we feel about that? 30-piece wing dinner with sides.
Yeah, all drumsticks. All drumsticks with ranch dipping sauce. That's what it is. But this is the conversation that we've been having. And this is why nobody around the league could argue or debate who's the best duo in the game. And I know it's a lot of good ones and great ones out there. But when it comes down to both of these guys, not only producing on the offensive end, but being locked down defenders on the defensive end, it's Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and then it's everyone else, period.
Yeah, Chris Forsberg joining us down here on Celtics Post Game Plus.
What's up, Chris?
It's going down, Perk. Now, I do have to say, Eddie, I know you weren't around all last season, but Perk was trying to trade the Jays at one point last year.
Oh, you was too. You was too.
Oh, no, you rewind the tape. I was, as much as in all my despair, I never wanted to break them up. And I understand their play last year made us all say some crazy things. But the great part now, Perk, is now we're focused on the future and what the potential of keeping these two players together is. And I heard you guys talking about the All-NBA, which I think is like the main conversation piece now, because Jaylen Brown is muscling his way into that conversation. And if this comes up, if Jaylen Brown does get All-NBA this season, one of those 15 slots, he will be eligible for a 5-year, $290 million extension, which would start in the 24-25 season. It ups the chances of locking him up early. And what have we seen? Brad Stevens has already gone out and secured Al Horford. Jason Tatum is long-term. Marcus Smart, Rob Williams, everybody is locked up. And I think in the Celtics, if they have their way, would love to see Jaylen Brown get to that number. Now, they could still wait and further down the road, still give him $250 million, but you got to wait. You got to wait to let him get to free agency at that point. They can still offer more than the other teams out there. But the best case scenario for the Boston Celtics is to get Jaylen Brown on an All-NBA team and get him to secure that extension this offseason. All of a sudden, you're talking about him earning $50 million per season at the start of the deal. $66 million by the end of it, Giles. A lot of money.
That's a lot of money, yeah.
But you have your core locked up. And if Jaylen and Jason are playing like this, it would be worth every cent for the Celtics to move to make that happen.
And that's what got his playing like that. I didn't know their numbers was like that. Them numbers, that light a fire under me right now. I'm trying to throw my headband on and get up out there, pull my socks up one time and hit some jumpers. Man, I'm trying to say that right there is definitely what light a fire up under anybody, and that's the reason why he going after it. He not only that, he wants to be known as one of the best players in the league. You hear him night in and night out talk about it. He talks about his evolution on the defensive end, trying to be a two-way player, and he's leaning into that. And you know what? Besides, and that was joke about the money and stuff like that, but when you play the way you play and trust your work and believe in your work and things like that, the money comes, the bag comes.
And it's all part of the conversation, right? Like, everybody thinks about money. Everybody wants to be respected like that. It matters for these guys to want to be supermax and to be respected and to be in that conversation. But ultimately, you got to go out there and play like it. And Jaylen, so far this year, like I can't believe it's not even in our stat line here. The 0 turnovers is my favorite. I know you brought it. I know you brought it up, but you people are good at your jobs. But like,
you're coming out firing tonight, Forsberg.
We need to hammer it home, because this is the version of Jaylen Brown that we've been yearning for. The type that does value the basketball, that avoids the sloppy turnovers. On a night where everybody else on the team was giving it up, if I'm going to sit here and be loud every time Jaylen Brown has 5-6 turnovers in a game and be like, come on, like you need to mature and get to that next level, then we need to sit here and celebrate the nights that he does.
Let me ask you this, Perk. So the scenario that you paint there, Forsberg, is $50 million a year. Now, obviously, salary is going to keep going up. Jaylen Brown, is he a $50 million a year player?
Yeah. I mean, he's worth every penny of it. Again, like, here's the thing. If you look around the league right now, and just take the Utah Jazz, for example, you telling me that you can't build a franchise around Jaylen Brown? Now, would he need another guy, another option, another number 2 or 1B or 1A or whatever? Yes, everyone needs that. But you can start a franchise with Jaylen Brown. So with that being said, yes, he does deserve and he is worth that money. This is what I want to know. How much do you guys think the one-on-ones that those guys do at practice, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, all those guys, the competitive one-on-ones that they do after practice or before practice, how much does that play in the factor? Because when I look at their ability to make plays and get buckets, and I was watching the Jaylen Brown highlights, I'm like, okay, if you're going against Jason Tatum and you're going against Marcus Smart, shoot, anybody you line up against, you're going to be ready for that matchup.
Iron sharpens iron, right? Like, that's why you see Peyton Pritchard jump into those games, because there's going to be no other situation where Peyton Pritchard has to go up someone against the caliber of a second unit that has Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. And so I love when those guys, I stop everything I'm doing. I don't care what's going on in that practice court. Jaylen and Jason start going at it, Eddie. I'm fixated on it because it's fun to watch. Like, the two best players on your team going at it and enjoying that battle and enjoying kind of getting the better of each other. I mean, sometimes we got it a lot in training camp. Keep that curtain open, Celtics. I want to be able to get that video some more. It's fun to watch.
Well, when you have your superstars doing that, right? Everybody else is going to jump in. Guys are going to jump in and want to be a part of that. What that does is it allows you, because they are really good defenders, it allows you to see what you got to really work on. You know, they know tendencies. I'm quite sure Jason Tatum knows Jaylen Brown's tendencies the same way that Jaylen knows Jason's, right? So that makes you go to counters. That makes you work on different things. That makes you figure another way to get your shots off. So those got to be super. I wish I could see some of them, because I know they're competitive. And when we played, we had that, you know, you have the one-on-one sessions where TA be going at Paul and people jump in, and it's fun. It's a lot of talking, but at the same time, it's actually helping you and sharpening all your skills.